What's up, guys? Welcome back to Large Lads, the most lethal lifting show on the internet with your host Murder Max, Killer Klong, and Slaughter Sam.
Very violent. What if you get us demonetized?
Thank you to the fan who submitted that one because I forgot to come up with one.
These videos that we can't monetize like 90% of the time because of our use of copyrighted music in the
Yeah,
intros.
this is the one that you can actually monetize. They were wearing hats, so I had to make my own.
Yeah, I didn't know Max didn't own hats until today.
The return of the top hat.
I will be going bald, so I was thinking I might as well reintroduce the top hats now.
You gotta start exploring.
Every bald guy in the world has to come up with what style of hat they are.
Yeah, you start exploring hats.
I've never seen a bald guy commit to the top hat.
I've not seen it.
That's
either.
gonna be my shtick.
I've seen a bunch of people wearing those like little like golf caps again. Those are coming back. Have you seen that?
Or the Peaky Blinders ones.
Yeah.
Those ones are coming back.
Whack. Listen, self-expression is sick. When I was younger, I would see people like wear goofy shit. I'm like, what a fucking idiot. Now that I've gotten older, I was like, man, being boring is boring. I respect the people that are willing to eat everybody looking at them and thinking, what an idiot, because they like something.
That's awesome.
The Peaky Blinders hats are, even in my era of self-expression is cool. Nah, man.
There's a minimum age requirement on that one.
I think the British strongmen hitting it recently is kind of endearing. Like,
Well, if you're British and above a certain age, by all means, right?
Yeah, if you're British and you're above like 30, or you look like you're above 30, like Luke Richardson,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, him and Graham wearing them, I'm like, all right, this is actually pretty endearing. I like it.
But young American dude, it's a hard sell.
Cool. I'm really contradicting myself bad on this self-expression is based and cool thing. I'm gonna start knocking these fucking cowboy hats off of people's heads.
I love that this started with, I really respect people who will go out there and wear what they want to. That's not going to stop me from thinking you're a piece of shit.
Top hat's awesome. LARPing as a cowboy. You are a frat bro in a cowboy hat. Get the fuck out of here.
There's a lot of those here.
Every time we're in town in Bozeman, they're just like walking around all over the place. I was like, there has never been mud on your boots, you LARPer.
Yeah.
The way that people drive F-150s around here, it really... I'll have some evil thoughts behind the wheel.
I have to consciously catch myself sometimes. Like some guy will like blow by me when the weather conditions are terrible. I'm like, I hope I see you in the ditch in a mile. I hope you don't die. I don't, nothing bad happens. I hope you're stuck in that ditch.
And also injured,
and lose your
injured.
And lose your job, actually. Maybe your shin hurts really bad, actually.
Yeah, knee is never the same, perhaps.
Okay, well, that maybe is one too far. I can always count on every time we start going with a bit, you immediately just take it too far where you're like, we don't like Mitch Hooper. And you're like, we wish death on him. And I'm like, wait, fuck, stop.
I don't know what the point of Large Lads is if I can't express my honest opinion.
Rampant.
That's a version of self-expression, bro.
That's a form of self-expression. Actually, you're based. There you go. All right. So I wrote down a bunch of stuff for the day. Which one do I want to do first? You and I were talking about the other day. I love when like someone stumbles upon one of our Instagrams. They're like, oh man, this guy is pretty strong. And they don't know that there's a brother. Oh, that brings me so much joy.
It is such a nuclear bomb because I've had a couple people like, oh yeah, I'm coming up on your bench press. And I'm like, you're the second strongest sheather, bro. You got to bench 600.
I enjoy it. Like we'll be like traveling or something and I'll go to a gym and like someone will be like, holy shit, that squat is crazy. I was like, yeah, you should see my little brother. He can do this for fucking 8.
You've started adopting the same thing our dad does. We're like, yeah, you should see my son. He's fucking enormous.
I do flagrantly lie about. I'm like, dude, Max is fucking 6'8", 400 pounds. Kirsten actually does this, where Kirsten keeps forgetting how Max is 6'2". Kirsten keeps forgetting how tall you are, and we'll be like, well, he's pretty big, so he must be about 6'4", 6'5", and he's like 400. I think he's like 400. Genuinely,
5400.
and then every time someone meets you in person, they're disappointed.
I keep like stealing Kirsten's jobs. I'm 3 for 3 right now of stealing Kirsten's jobs.
That's true. Kirsten worked at a pizza place. I followed her to the pizza place.
I went and did that for a while. Kirsten changed
went
to a lab. I went and worked at that lab. Here's me, I'm a coach. Now I'm a coach.
That's true.
Dude, you've shared the last 3 employers.
I keep picking that stupid, just like, I'm going to go throw tires up a hill job. And then I'm like, oh, well, this actually sucked ass. Kirsten's job pays more money and is way easier. I should go do that.
I was gonna say you had the same last 3 employers, but then I was like, well, you did work at that lumberyard for one day.
Hey, 2 days. I had 2 shifts.
It was so funny. Max went to this. Max was like, "Yeah, it'd be a good job," and then he was just immediately like, "Oh, this is gonna fuck my training. Never mind."
Did we tell the story of how then you saw the guy who owns the lumberyard at our gym?
He works out at our. He works at our gym. Is always like side eyeing Max.
I no call, no showed, quit that job. And then I was like, whew, thank God I'll never see that guy again.
Why did you do that?
So it was not like an active choice. It was that like my shift started at 5:30, and I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I just slept like through it.
Okay, but what about calling?
Well, then they called me, and then they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "I'm not coming back."
This is okay. Well, this is actually morally not the right thing to do, brother. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I was in the wrong. I'm acting like this is an awesome story that projects my best qualities. I was a teenager working like a stupid job, and I was like, I want to play Warzone, and I just slipped right through my shift.
Oh, damn, good times.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I was living in someone else's parents' basement, and I just slept right through a shift.
It cracks me up how that is just like the general Zoomer methodology now is just ghosting jobs.
I was like, I don't have to put this on my resume, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, there's no.
They're never going to contact you because I'm not going to give you their information.
Yeah.
Exactly. You worked there for one day. There's no gap in your employment history.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a different job
So
now.
that guy is nice too. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, it's a shame because he's real nice to me. He's just like, dude, you're so strong. That's awesome. And I'm just like, I swear to God, you're the only job I've ever done that to, which is not true.
All right. Well, so I had another one that I thought was so funny. It's like usually we'll talk about like lifters or athletes as being like genetically gifted, right?
Yep.
And sometimes we'll just say like, oh, they're really athletic, right? And like people come with this big athletic background, they tend to get really good at lifting really quickly. Even like bodybuilding, you can leverage your athletic history and knowing how to push all these things, right? It's not all the same though, because you can get the really gifted guy who's both coordinated and very like powerful. But there are people who are very coordinated and not particularly powerful. And then there's my favorite sub-demographic, which is naturally extremely powerful motor morons.
It seems
I love those guys.
it's like one that's like kind of the most enviable position, right?
No, it's not.
But just for like rad points, right? Because they're always all jacked too.
There's
some correlation with just being so explosive and just being like, for some reason, a lean 230 natty guy.
Being
but also
powerful as shit and also moving things in an inefficient way makes you very
it
muscular.
must be so frustrating to be like, I know I'm stronger than all of these dudes, but you'll never be world class because you move in such a stupid way.
It is.
And they never get it either. They're just like, I don't know what's happening. I can out dumbbell bench and curl and tricep extension, all these guys. And then I keep freaking out on the bench and it's not going well.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny to like working with those guys. It's like you touch a dumbbell, you get stronger. You move so powerful. You're just pure strength. Like if we were to wrestle right now, I would be like immediately able to identify that this guy's strong as fuck and is.
That's every time I get a new client, I'm like, what if we were to wrestle?
That's how I appraise them.
what if me and you to wrestle?
It's so funny. Like people don't know what to make of those guys. I also feel bad for the people on the other end of the spectrum who are like, they are athletic in that they are unbelievably coordinated, but they're not particularly naturally strong or fast.
You can learn a good sumo deadlift.
You can carve a real niche for yourself in a lot of sports by being like the guy who is very proprioceptive, like not particularly explosive. He's not particularly strong, but like your gift is bodily awareness. Doesn't go quite as far in powerlifting. Like, yeah, you can learn nice sumo, but at some point you're going to get cucked by the guy who does not know how to jump, but can somehow speed squat 500.
It is funny that both ends of the spectrum, you still kind of like you're going to lose to the person who has both, you know?
But yeah, of course, right? Like that's kind of what I find endearing about like strength sports is I do think that like I think you could put all sports on like a continuum of like skill to like physical qualities.
Yep.
Right? Like there's a lot of sprinting skill, but it's compared to other sports, it's a very like all technique is involved in these things, but it's very physical parameters dependent.
Yeah.
Distance biking. There's a technique to it. There's like a pacing. But it's very physicality dependent. And also those are the sports that are guaranteed to dope.
Yep.
Where if physicality is always going to be the rate limiter, that's not skill. That's where you get guaranteed doping. But I like that strength sports, most of them fall pretty far towards that physicality side, where it's like, even if you're a little underskilled, if you're strong enough, you're still quite good.
I love how many guys are pissed about how much skill is required to be good at strength sports.
Imagine,
Like, this is such a low skill ceiling sport. They'd be like, God, this shit's so fucking stupid. It's like, dude, what? Like, is your dream sport just sitting on the leg extension and we all just, like, go?
I mean, that's becoming like its own genre of training, right?
It kind of is, yeah.
I get the fucking argument. This is just how good. This is what good hypertrophy training is. Guys are just doing strength training on the leg extension.
Guys don't want to learn how to squat.
Yeah,
True.
that's become like its own genre of training, is like strength training with the intent of showing off like a 4 or 5 RM on stable machines. I think there's a little bit of nuance. I don't think that's the exact same thing as really effective bodybuilding. You know, crucify me if you want. But like just being like training for a T-bar row 4 RM is like now one of the most popular training styles in the world.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but I just lost it.
We should make a new strength sport where it's just going out and maxing out on a machine so all these guys have something to do.
Yeah, the Prime Machine 1RM contest.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say.
Super total. It's 25 events.
In PT, that happened all the time, where someone's shoulder would hurt and they would come in, and then the PT at the gym would teach them how to bench press properly. They'd be like, "Man, I had no idea benching was this technical," and I was like, "Well, yeah, there's some technique to benching without hurting yourself, but also compared to like other sports, like
Yep.
you got like
Well,
3
they don't think
cues and it worked better." Like,
But I think that's like foundational to how a lot of people view it, is
Yeah.
like the weight room is a thing with it's a lot of the same thing of like people who are not particularly savvy don't realize that there is running technique past just not looking like a idiot.
yeah, that's fair.
They don't understand that there's like a high ceiling for efficient
Weird
running.
toe drag at the start, all that.
There's
fucking-
there's a lot of like there's nuances. So like you just fucking run. It's the same people who are like you just fucking press the bar, and it's like, well,
Technically true.
when pressing the bar and running becomes the sport, there's very much technique involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a huge boost of confidence the other day. I had
Awesome.
3 old men at
it
Costco
hailing?
ask me how much I bench
It is
press.
hailing and thundering. Sorry, it's so distracting.
It was so sunny.
That's pretty cool. Go ahead, old man.
I had 3 old men ask me how much I bench press at
Dude,
Costco in
let's
one
go.
day.
Dude, that's
Shocking.
sick.
That's
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was there to get new glasses, and I was like, dude, I was like fucking svelte in this shirt. What the fuck?
I heard John Hack say it ages ago. I'm on the same boat where I'm like, I'm gonna start lying downward in my bench max.
Oh my god! I had a guy be like, "Yo, do you bench 300?" I was like, "Yep." I'm not gonna be like, "No, I bench 5." You old piece of shit.
Every time,
I feel like 405 is a good answer.
I might start going and saying,
Because that's like realistic enough that they won't think you're lying.
they just
600 is a cartoonish number.
Yeah.
Especially because like you are like a big guy, but not like you look like a normal big guy.
yeah.
Like you saying 600 sounds
as
like,
hurtful as what you just said to me
I was
was.
gonna say, damn.
I'm trying really hard to not look normal, but
well, you're very good pound for pound.
I know that sucks.
Your dots is crazy, bro.
But people just like look like it's like if you say 405, they're like, holy shit, bro, that's crazy. I knew a guy who did that once, right? But if you say 600, they just look at you weird and move on. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna start saying a lower number. I feel even worse for John.
Oh my god, just being like a normal sized dude and then being like, yeah, I bench 606 pounds.
At this point, you can't say John is a normal sized dude.
Yeah, he's 230.
John
and
Hack
lean.
would be one of the most muscular human beings you've ever seen in person.
Oh god, because he went up. He's 220 now, which means he's like actually like 235. Yeah. No. Okay, so you know, look at regular jacked guy.
The internet. This is
you know,
something
dad
that, like,
bod.
John is just like a little victim weight dad bod, but he benches 600.
It's so strange. How's he to do that?
How does he do that? Fuck. What were we just saying? What were we just talking about?
You looking like a normal big guy, not a giant big guy.
It's
according to
funny.
Max.
It's funny because there's it goes 2 ways. It's very rarely accurate. Like you follow people who are like strong guys or big guys on the internet, and you see them in person, and they're never what they look like on the internet. They're either much bigger for some reason,
Yep.
or they are much, much smaller and are either very short or have been using like crazy angles
Yep.
and are nothing. Either way, I've been surprised every single time we've gone to like a big contest. I saw someone that I like follow online. They're either, I'm like, oh, wow, you are a much more muscular human being than I thought.
Yep.
Or you're not that big.
You're a little guy.
You're a little guy.
Especially powerlifters, I feel like more often fall into the little guy category.
I really get the temptation of both multiply guys and bum-fed guys. Where, like, to normal people, if you could just say a bigger number, that's your weird ego
If you could
stroke.
say, I bet you 1,000 pounds.
If I'm going to go 1,000 pounds, old man. You think 300? How about 1,300?
Yeah, that's. I feel like that was like the driving force behind the multiply era.
And that's also the driving force behind all these teenagers doing it again.
I saw his fucking I know the slingshot ass
Yeah,
off
it's like,
bench
oh, I bet you 900. We're like, well, yeah, I was equipped, but like, it's still 900.
900 pounds.
No, it's not.
I almost broke my no commenting on random shit policy the other day because I saw this was ages ago. I know Dennis. I know you watched these. Dennis was Freaky D was beefing with this guy who's like the second best multiply bencher. He's the guy who gets cucked by Jimmy Cole
I
brutally
love
by
that our
100.
sport is so small that you can just beat with random. like I could probably get the attention of any world champion if I just made enough of a stink.
He's just like, oh, I bench 1,000, I bench 1,000. It was like, this guy's whole thing is just telling people that he benches 1,000 without mentioning what multiply is. And he was talking down to Dennis. Dennis benches more raw than you. Without your magical suit, Dennis is a better. Dennis is natty. At least, minimum, talk to that man as an equal. Suck my dick.
Well, he does double the weight, Sam. You fucking
I do
idiot.
twice. That was basically it's like, let's see you fucking unrack this. Let's see you go do Dennis's max without a shirt on. You're gonna tear your little weak equipped guy pec. Fuck you. Do not disrespect my goat.
There's also the very, very common thing of people like really wanting to like go to wherever they can say that they're a world champion. That's a really lame one.
Yeah, that's something that's always been like if people act like it's getting worse, it's always been a thing. is
Also, why
balancing-
USPAPL Nationals has 3,000 people going to it.
Oh, just to say you went to that. That's always
What
been
the fuck? That's a market. That's the sickest marketing campaign. It was like, pay us $300 and we'll let you say that you're a national level competitor.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. Is not to let this. I'll move on in a second. I don't want this to be like an overly negative podcast, but it's so it's not interesting to me. It's obvious. This is a normal thing. This is how everything is. But as like a purist of liking like strength training in the sport, people are a lot less interested in like mastering the sport or like getting to a legitimately high level. They're a lot more like it doesn't matter what level they're at as long as they can say something that holds value to people that don't know about it. As long as it doesn't matter if I'm actually competitive at nationals, if I can tell people I'm a nationals competitor. It doesn't matter if I'm actually anywhere near the world record, if I can say I'm a world record holder. Like the title means more than the actual level because you know that it's only a niche group of people that are familiar with enough with the nuances to see what level you're actually at.
My powerlifting peak accomplishment was my first meet.
True.
Because I won AAU World Championship.
True.
That's my
That's
first
true.
competition.
You put that in your bio.
Yeah.
And you put the year.
2015 AAU Youth 1 World Champion.
Actually, you should put that in your bio. That's pretty funny. The stronger you get, the funnier that gets.
That's good. That was really good. It is really weird to see people who like get stuck at a local level just because like the idea of being like the coolest guy at the local meet is like that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Versus the people who are like fuck it, I'm gonna go lose at Nats. Like way cooler decision in my mind, but also
Yeah.
like I mean both are valid. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing I had in my notes here was like exercises that like I view as like pretty foundational to complement the pretty base strength training, right? Like you and I have talked endlessly about how RDLs, like just learn to do a good flat back RDL where you go all the way down, all the way back up with the back flat. Is like just such a foundational tool for long-term deadlift development. And like learning a good high bar squat is like a very good foundational tool. I genuinely feel like ab wheel goes in that category. Where if you can learn like a good tech where you're not arching to get out of the bottom, learning a good technique ab wheel will just kind of cover your bases from now till the end of time, and just learning that's like to get really good at it. Then like maybe you get really strong, you need to add weight, maybe you need to add tempos and pauses, and maybe you need to do it in more of a cluster fashion to get to hard reps faster because you could do a bunch of reps. But it's just like that tool is a tool that never expires.
I go in phases of like motions that I'm like super bought in on, right? Like we had my little dumbbell row arc where I was like, this is the best motion in the world.
Every one of Max's clients was doing
Every single one of the Rat Pack was getting dumbbell rows that month. That was fucking. I always am like, God, I think ab wheel is maybe the best ab motion for like.
The number of times I've come, like you were saying, like things come in waves, right? Like, and the same thing's like true in broader lifting. The more times something comes back as a wave, the more you should probably take a hard look at it.
Yeah, we're like planks weighted are really like probably the best drill.
Yep.
I think ab wheel is the best thing to actually strengthen like what you like you need to just, like counter the force of your low back fucking trying to pull an extension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think planks are great, especially if you're like in a strongman gym with sandbags and you got someone strong to put a big sandbag. Like there's overload potential there.
Or if you're not strong enough to do an ab wheel yet.
Yes, that is the like a hollow hold or a plank or a dead bug. It's like isometric ab work is something you can do to build towards ab wheel, assisted ab wheels where you put like a band around your waist, and like those are the regression. But then ab wheel variations just kind of expand indefinitely. You never get so strong that there is no more room on the RDL. You can outgrow a lot of machines that they're machines that complement your strength training really well.
Yeah, if
but
you're
like
doing 2 plates on a standing ab wheel, it's like you're good.
You've completed
done.
abs.
You have enough ab strength to do any accomplishment in the world.
Yes,
Like
any lift that you could set your mind to, you're good. You just maintain abs at this point, right? But like, at some point, it's like, okay, I don't want to fucking put more than like 2 plates on a gym pin on a stack. I'm not like, what are we doing at that point, right? So like things that have infinite scaling, I always like have a lot of appeal. And like the more times I come back to something, the more I'm like, all right, I can kind of put the label on this. Like, this is central, at least to my methodology. It fits in with my system clearly well. I should probably shill for it a little bit extra, if anything. And like ab wheel is like in that like hall of fame with the good technique RDLs.
Yeah, like you said, I just keep coming back to it. Like I've probably had at least 2 dozen phases of being like ab wheel is the best, and I've never done that for any other ab motion.
Leg raises are a big one for me too. I always come back to those.
Dumbbell bench too.
Yes, I always whenever I'm
so mad I can't do fucking dumbbell bench.
We don't have heavy enough dumbbells for me and Max to run those right now, so we're kind of like doing various things to try to make up for it.
Discussion is, do we drive like an hour over to a town over that has heavy enough dumbbells to do a session a week?
Yeah, we're debating driving over to Butte, Montana to get our hands on some heavier dumbbells because I legitimately think that like if you rotate the dumbbells and you row them in so you're doing an extended range press, a bigger range of motion than your regular press, I find it's amazing because it's extended range work and also this is a random point. Maybe you guys will think it's interesting. People will always discredit, like they're like, oh, the proof that instability work doesn't work, right? They say instability work is silly because you're just going to limit your force output. It's just nonsense. It's the same reason you wouldn't stand on a Bosu ball. And it's like, well, yeah, if we take any good training variable to the highest it can go, it becomes shitty training. Mm-hmm. If I say lifting heavy is good, you're like, if you put so much weight on there, you can't move it. It's actually bad training. Great point, bro. Like, okay, you proved it. Going heavy is bad, right? I find that going just one slight deviation less stable, right? So we just disconnect our hands. So we add one more plane of movement for the dumbbells. It makes my negatives feel way more locked in on my bench press. Like my ability to control the bar path and find the right bar path every time. That seems to be a training effect independent of what the dumbbells do for my pecs. So it's like, sure, if you take anything and you take it too far, it's useless, right? Like people used to say, well, if you just do like omega bands and chains to where it's like weightless at the bottom, yes, it's going to give you horrible carryover. It becomes a different lift. But if we used a modest amount of accommodating resistance, it's a decent variation to progress, right? Like the same thing is true of a lot of things. And like one deviation less stable work in dumbbells, fucking so helpful for me. And it checks that box of extended range pressing, which I think is good for keeping your pecs healthy.
Well, we've talked about it for like, especially like beginners, right? Like building up the pec is like, you're just trying to speed run that.
Yep.
That's usually the limiting factor of an early bench. Speaking of fucking waves, right? Oh my God, the thing I've learned is, like, just by coaching the Rat Pack, anyone who is benching 300 pounds should just be constantly spamming dumbbell bench.
Yeah,
like 300. Are you using 300 pounds as an example of a weak bench presser?
No, that's just the average strength of my lifters.
Okay, I was gonna say, what a dickhead. Am I right, guys?
Says Sam, who benched 300 in like 2 months of bench pressing.
Yeah.
That shit took me 4 years.
Yeah, and I realized that I'm naturally gifted at it, so I wouldn't call someone weak for doing it like you.
I earned it because it took me 4 fucking years
ass.
to bench 300.
He was a preteen.
I was a teen.
He was a
I was a full teenager.
You started as a preteen.
I started early.
You started as a preteen. Max, I had to fucking pull myself up by. You were a child.
And a morbidly obese one trying to bench 300. But my conclusion was, I was like, man, dumbbell bench is good. And so I kept just giving people more dumbbell bench. And I was like, this shit's just continuing to be, like, it's just like an endless fucking bench loop. Just do more dumbbell bench. So fucking
You have to do it right, though.
Yeah, if you're not pulling your chest up, and if you're twisting them in to like to cheat the ROM, it just fully defeats
the ego lifting dumbbells is one of the worst ego. Like a lot of
this
things
makes
you can
Kirsten
lift,
so mad.
You can ego lift a lot of things, and it would still be really productive. Ego lifting your dumbbell bench is sometimes fun Instagram video. You better not be fucking doing that in your training, especially if your bench is not going up.
Yeah, that's something that you're like big on.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves because I hate seeing people have their bench stall out and they're working really hard, and the only thing they're missing that would make their bench start going up again is literally doing the last inch of range of motion. And sometimes for some people, it's the last 3 inches of range of motion.
They get so attached to like, this is what I dumbbell bench.
Yeah,
people are like I'm a 60s guy, and it's like
no.
if you stop being a 60s guy, you would suddenly become a 300s guy.
Yeah,
like I'm sure part of this is just the perspective of like, now I'm the strongest bench presser in any gym I would go to around here, right? So I don't really care. But like, who cares how much you're dumbbell benching if your main bench is going up? Like, that's the one we brag about. So it's like, if 50s is going to do you more good with this better tech, and then you get to be like, I bench 275. That sounds like it's a great trade-off. Yeah. Like Kirsten, I think Kirsten's bench coaching is immaculate, right? Because you're a very good bench presser. You've done a lot of it. You benched 200 pounds natty, soon to be 225. It's going really well. It's going well. Right? It's going insanely well, actually, for only benching twice a week.
Yeah.
But I think Kirsten both like took the very technical like side of skating and has like a very good understanding of like what someone needs to do to get better at bench press. And she's like, you just need to do good dumbbell bench. And some people just, it's a coordination problem, and some people just will not fucking do it.
I was really like novelty maxing and be like, we should get all these different angles in, and I'd be like, nah, dumbbell bench is just the best. Maybe it's just the best bench accessory for like if you're like a intermediate beginner, low level advanced, just do shit tons of dumbbell bench.
And you might have to take the weight way lower than you would even think would be productive.
Yeah,
like you might have to cut that shit. Like you might have to do like 30% of what you're doing if you're skipping a lot of range at the bottom.
I feel like I've lost it now because obviously like. I would say like I'm a low-level elite lifter, right? Like I'm very good. I feel like I've been doing this for long enough that I'm like very like confident and just being like, I know like my place in the gym has been earned. I did not feel that way when I was earlier to
Speaking of Max elitist dickhead opinions, Max is always like, they need to give me that fucking rack, right?
Honestly, though, they do need to give him that fucking rack.
If there's one good bench and I'm doing 500 today and you're doing one play, you should give me that rack. Call me an asshole. I don't know.
You're hitting the old Kurt Karwalski. I throw my bag at him. I tell him 5 minutes.
You know, all I'm saying.
Next week's intro has that clip in it.
I'll put it in. This next week is my intro. I'll put it like Max at the bottom of the screen.
It's about percentages, right? If it's your max out day, I respect it.
This guy's getting caught in 4K.
Give me the fucking rack, you loser. I was gonna say I did not used to feel that way, right? Like I was very like insecure, like I have to earn my place in the gym, and whenever I was like at a new milestone, I like constantly wanted to show off that like, well, no, I'm this level of strength.
Yes, you worked hard to get like I see that, right? Like I want to show everyone that I'm a 2-plate bencher. I worked my ass off to be in this this level. So every session, I need to show everybody that I am this level.
And the idea of doing like embarrassing accessories was like admitting that I was like weak, but like I could do way more.
Yes,
or like not doing an insanely heavy like leg press. It's like, well, I mean, like there's an asshole who's doing 1,000, right? Like if I do 600, it's gonna look like he's stronger than me.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, you also could do 1,000. So, and I get it, because I did the exact same thing that I always wanted to do. Like, I wanted to, like, display the fact that I was, like, but I'm better than you.
I think that there could be, like, I do think, you know, it's like the more appeal to the people watching thing to say is, like, always just, like, we're all on this, we're all just working on our own thing, right? And it's like that mentality doesn't always mesh with competitive athletics, and that's fine. But I always thought that like back then that mindset being more pervasive when we were young, it obviously it's got a lot of downsides to like when you and I didn't feel like we deserved the rack if there was someone stronger than us who needed the rack, right? Or we didn't like hadn't earned our place in the gym.
I'm 60% joking about that, by the way.
50. He's like 50-50.
I
Max
have
is
to,
a, listen,
I have to, I have to be at,
Max is a
I have
nice
to
guy.
be at 750 plus that session for me to really be like, take your bar, I'm going to throw it over the rack. I'm taking that shit.
Ali.
I'm going to push you over.
Ali, you are a nice guy. I am not a man you can talk to like this. But like, I don't know. I feel like there were positives, right? Like I'm very empathetic because I am empathetic that it was like significantly worse for women. But like dudes, I was like, well, I am a little twink. I need to fucking work my ass off to be not little skinny twink guy.
Can I have the rack, please?
Right? But like I don't know. I felt like in some ways this comes off as like fucking every guy who's like retiring, who's starting a podcast. I'll be back in my era. Fuck, I hate that shit. I hope it doesn't sound like that.
A podcast of 20-year-olds talks about back in our era what the culture used to be like.
But I just think like 10 years ago, with that, like it was just a little bit more of a pervasive culture. There were a bunch of downsides to like people were just kind of dickheads. People thought if they were strong, you could just be an asshole when no one cares about how strong you are.
The idea that used to have aura is so funny.
Being a strong and just like fucking dick.
Who, I don't know if I should say his name. The guy who had the...
I don't know who this is, but just how about we don't?
Mitch Hooper did this.
Stop. But every time you do this, if we do this too often, our fans start getting really negative really quickly.
This is a positivity podcast. Video guy doing a hack squats and he like yells at this dude, like, get the fuck out of the way.
Guy?
Yeah, it was guy. And I remember he was like baffled by being like, damn, bro, why is everyone being so like they don't like this? And I remember you were like, dude, it makes 100% sense why he's so shocked.
Yeah.
Because that kind of was like...
That was his persona. Like his whole career, he was patted on the back for being Mr. Hardcore Intensity. Like that guy, being that guy was something that got him praise.
Yeah, like 2016 was like, oh, I'm showing him the ropes of the gym. Like,
yes.
I was giving him shit, but also like that's what the alpha of the gym does. He puts him in his place.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and like he was like shocked that suddenly that's not considered cool.
Yeah,
like it really, like you could tell it was like a fucking like what the world has changed kind of thing. But I don't know. I always thought there was like some like I'm gonna try to learn. Obviously, we met guys who were better lifters than us who were wrong about a bunch of things. But like I would always try to learn from them.
Yep.
And sometimes that was mistaken. But I would always try because I'm like, you are better than me at this. Like you are. I was very open to the idea that like I wasn't just like, well, I'm natty, so I'm not going to listen to this guy. I was like, well, he's clearly better at lifting weights than me past that. And so I'd always listen. And like sometimes it was mistaken, but I always felt like there was some benefit to that.
Yeah, I like something yada yada the pendulum, right? And like we're talking about like we're not in the might makes right era. The whole just like I don't bench you, so you have to listen to me.
Yeah,
and be like, fuck you idiot.
Did I tell the story about how Nathan Payton, the guy who's like the nutritionist for a bunch of the world's guys, was like on like the only strongman forum at the time, telling people that like he was doing Travis Ortemeyer's nutrition. And he was like, yeah, guys, you should eat some just like chicken and rice and broccoli meals. It's like a good meal. Bodybuilders put on a lot of muscle by like trying to keep their digestion good, right? And everybody on the forum was like, you little dumb fuck. You don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't even make any sense. You should eat pizza, you dumb fuck. And then one day Derek Poundstone hopped on the forum and was like, oh, I eat chicken and rice all the time. Like I eat like a bodybuilder. And then suddenly everybody was like, oh, okay, well maybe we should do this.
Well, to be a big guy, you need to eat big guy food. To be big.
That story was like cracking me. I was like, that is like the epitome of the forum days. It's just like some guy who's right. He's a smart guy who's like just been observing. And he's like, I think this is good. And everybody's like, shut the fuck up, you little bitch. And then big guy says the same thing. I was like, this guy's a smart guy.
This is really insightful, actually. You know, that's actually more hardcore is to like have a dialed diet and still eat that quantity.
Now that you think about it, it is actually more hardcore than eating pizza.
Makes sense to have better micronutrients going into training.
That was cracking me up. And then the last one I have in my notes is, man, boys. Also, was that thing that me crashing out about that old multiply bench guy? That's fine to leave in, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got Dennis is my friend and is a nice guy. And like, it's just like, a fucking fantastic bench presser. Someone talking down to him about bench press, fucking crazy. Wow, it really wound me up. But we got to figure out like vlog format videos, boys. We've done some. I thought they were decent. They didn't do big views, but we got to figure it out so that way we could be the next Trend Twins and be extremely rich.
I was thinking 4th of July, we go hit golf balls, shoot guns, and do deadlifts.
So that's smart.
We just really directly copy the Trend Twins.
They should sponsor us.
Feral subs?
Listen, we might be fat and ugly, but we are stronger.
Feral subs, please.
The strongest brothers.
We're gonna order the boys to harass them to get a sponsorship.
Sick the fucking dogs on them.
Yo, large lads, go harass them until we get a fucking contract.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's harder now that we all train together for me to film you guys vlog style. And
We went to it and it was immediately
it
stressful.
was a very difficult session for me, even though I think it was a deload session for me. But I still was like, what's going on?
You're not exactly the multitasking
No,
CEO.
but we'll figure it out.
All right, so here I've got a new segment to introduce.
It's awesome.
It's the my wonderful girlfriend Kirsten talks segment.
Kirsten,
Yeah,
5
yeah.
minutes on the clock. No one else is gonna
Oh
talk.
my
Kirsten, you
God.
got anything you've been thinking about?
Well, that dumbbell bench thing I was thinking about, but I have to talk about it earlier. It segued really nicely.
Got anything
so
else
I didn't
you've
just
been-
have to be negative and be like, please, guys, please do your dumbbell bench to depth for the love of God.
Yeah, because for a while I was saying like anything that lets you get like a big stretch on your pecs, like a greater range of motion than your regular bench. Pause, drive out. Like I was kind of pitching that they were like very interchangeable, but man, every time I re-rotate dumbbells into that spot, deep dips work pretty well.
Or if you're at below a certain strength level, like push-ups will work really well. Honestly, for deficit push-ups, yeah.
A lot of things work really well. I think deficit push-ups work great if you're a lower level strength guy. Rat Pack, all have deficit push-ups. Everyone's getting deficit push-ups still.
Yeah, deficit push-ups.
Especially if you're a home gym guy, you're getting fucking deficit push-ups.
Yeah, deficit push-ups and deep dips if you don't have dumbbells, those work really well. But like every time I come back, like it's the same thing. Every time I come back to dumbbells, I'm like, oh, these are not exactly equal for what they do for my bench press. And I see it enough with my clients as well. That
I
I'm
think
like,
deep dips are just as good. They're just harder.
they're also a little different. I think the deep dips are good for reinforcing, not flattening out your arch as you press. Like if you're someone who presses into your shoulders and you're like straining at lockout and it doesn't feel like your triceps are what's straining, it's your shoulders. You've kind of punched yourself out of your arch too much. And I think deep dips get that deep stretch pec strength and also reinforce keeping the press.
Didn't work at all for me.
It did help. Working the dips,
I still flatten out just as much.
not as bad.
Okay, cool.
You press into your shoulders.
Yeah, tricks me into complimenting me.
You press into your
Fucking
shoulders.
idiot. Kirsten, go ahead, talk.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about the nuances of this. If this is boring, we can skip it. Of where your wrist goes when you're benching, because we've talked about how it's a valid strategy for some people to let their wrist come back as a way to reduce the range of motion,
Well, so everybody has the wrist back at
but
least a
it
bit.
coming back as you come down.
Yeah, some people have a dynamic. Have you seen more people have like a dynamic wrist bend now, Max?
I don't like it at all.
Well, because that's something we're
It clearly
doing.
works. I'm not disagreeing that it clearly works. God damn it, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever tell a client to do that, and I might have them try
That's
to
it.
correct
Well, it's like an
That's
advanced.
yeah, that's a very advanced technique that, like, if someone's telling me that's what they're doing, I'm gonna be like, no, it's
Yeah.
not.
So
your wrists are clearly just fucking buckling.
Yeah.
So full clarity, everybody's wrist is back, but some people put it really low in their palm, so it's right above the joint. But some people put their wrist back that same way, but put it higher in the hand.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it looks like shit when you do it.
Well, I thought that was interesting because I never focused on that when I was benching until you guys started talking about it being a cue for you to not let it come back as you come down. And then I started cueing that in my bench, and that's been helpful. Obviously, that's a super niche cue, but I've been that's like, and also just kind of reinforcing your wrist position and stuff. It's been good.
Kirsten's bench is just a better version of mine.
Yeah.
Because like I like to think I'm maybe a little bit technically further down the line than Kirsten, but from bulking up to fucking 270, I've lost so many like little areas of mobility.
Dude, it's your T-spine just does not fucking want to open.
Oh, my T-spine is not fucking bending right now. I think the road to 880 deadlift, like all of the mid back work I was doing that made me like really good at rounding my upper back, has made it really hard to get really nice extension. Like I'm not getting that upper thoracic extension. That's like the most important part of arching for a bench press. And it just will not. I'm like fucking cranking it in every stretch and it won't even start to bend. Like, God, fucking damn. I really reinforced that. So I watched Kirsten's bench and I'm like, it's everything that I taught her, but then done without the mobility restrictions.
Of being an 8260 man. Yeah, because I feel like your bench looks like you're bleeding force less than Kirsten's. Like it's just like by proxy of doing 15 years of bench pressing or whatever, right? Like you've just done so much that it looks like every ounce of effort is going into the bar, right? Like your bench looks so fucking fluid and like it looks like everything's transferring into the bar.
Yeah, because Kirsten's looks like mine used to, where she very visibly bleeds forced at the wrist, but I don't bleed forced at the wrist anymore ever.
And like sometimes I think Kirsten's leg drive is like maybe like not as strict.
Well, I think I think the only difference, right, is like I think Kirsten's bench press is really, really like I think it's as good as mine technically, to be honest. As much as I hate to admit it.
I was gonna say if you take a screenshot of any position of Kirsten's, it's so fundamentally sound.
Yeah, the thoracic arch is higher in quality.
I've got a hot take.
The thoracic arch is higher in quality, and also she lacks enough pec development to be really confident off the chest, because Kirsten's bench is actually she can do a really nice soft touch, but her grip is like very moderate width. And usually moderate width people are a little bit better with a slight sink so they can transfer their leg drive into the bar. But she's so scared to sink it because she's not not developed enough in the pecs yet.
My pecs are like ever so slightly behind.
Yep, the pecs are, I would say, even a little bit more than ever so slightly for your bench to be like, to feel the way you'd want it to feel. It's like,
I'll just sneak that one in there.
Bench is the most fun when my pecs are ahead.
The pecs and the wrists are kind of like the only areas for improvement right now. I think your bench is immaculate.
Thanks,
Kirsten, what's been pissing you off?
Oh, don't.
What's been pissing me off? Let's see. That's a good question. We might have to come back around to that. I need to brainstorm. Okay. Because again, I've just been ruminating about the fucking dumbbell bench thing for like the last 3 days. So if you ask me another question, I'm just going to talk about dumbbell bench again. I've been ruminating.
What's your topic, big man? Big guy.
Bro is one of the old men at Costco. What the fuck? That's what they all call me.
Big guy.
Yeah, they'll come up and they grab my shoulders. This is not real, by the way. I have had that happen before, but that was not this trip.
Dude, now that you're looking less youthful, you're getting molested significantly less.
Dude, I was having people grab me when I was a teenager.
Max would just like full stop get sexually assaulted at the gym like once a month.
It's crazy stuff.
It was crazy.
It's the downsides of having cute features, you know.
It's the cute features that must have been what was attracting them to you, because like you would just be like, you'd come back over from a bench at the Renton YMCA, you'd be like, dude, that guy just like fully groped my titties. That was crazy.
And I come up and like grab my shoulders, like hold my neck, and I was like,
the guy that like grabbed your, like he was inspecting your traps, but like just like choked you was great. And Max would come back over to me. He was like, the guy just like fucking grabbed my neck.
And I'd be like, I was talking to you guys and he came behind me, and I was like, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like my dad or someone who knows me. It's not my dad.
And, not exactly my finest big brother moment either. I didn't defend Max at all. I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro. Hurry up and do your fucking set.
I think you went like, damn, bro, you let him maul you. And I was like, that was not okay. You're bad touch. I think you went like, do you know that guy? I was like, no, what? Because I think he knew me from Instagram. And it was like, oh yeah, you know.
Hey, Rat Pack, if you see Max, sneak up behind him and grab him.
Clearly, I don't have a good defense system. I'm not like turning around and getting violent. I go like,
don't do that to me, by the way.
Also, don't do that to anyone. Don't do that to anyone. Actually, so there's good advice. Just don't do that to me either.
I have I don't know if it's a good or a bad reflex every time someone does that to me. Like when I was younger, Dad did that to me. Like hid behind a corner, like popped out, and I chipped one of his teeth.
That's what you gotta do.
I just was immediately throwing hands.
You probably never did it again.
That instinct has never gone away, and it leads to some bad optics. Like Kirsten will be like, peekaboo. I'll be like, hi.
I don't know who this is.
But make sure you sneak up behind Max and tickle him.
Don't.
Do it.
Second week in a row, we're gonna have to fucking edit something. Fuck you.
He won't do anything about it.
This is crazy. Like, yo, my brother's a fucking fresh target.
I'm just saying.
He freezes in pressure, boys.
He does freeze under pressure.
That's why my car crash went so well, because I was like, oh shit.
If you're a freeze under pressure guy, you do have like the little potential for some aura, because you can fully process what's going on while you're frozen, so then you never have like a embarrassing freak out.
It's true.
I freeze and then I embarrassing forget.
That's worst of both
drink
worlds.
that?
The worst of both worlds.
That is true. You take so long to react to things and then you still forget.
Yeah, you got the worst freeze mechanic I've ever seen.
Yeah, but then you think that I don't think your jokes are funny, but I'm just thinking about them.
It's that they were so complicated.
I had to think about what
They were
was
so
going on before I
5-dimensional.
laughed.
I was gonna say one of the things in my training that I feel like has been really going very, very well is we have been having more like concrete targets, and Sam has been trying to strike a balance of both having like things that are a little bit more auto-regulated as I get better, but having things I'm like actively excited for more often has been really, really productive for me. Like having sets or reps or like even just like having a single that I'm a little bit more scared of than usual has been like doing me so fucking good.
Yeah, like I think on each right now I'm kind of working off of the paradigm that like at least once a month, right? Because we're running 4-week waves, so it's a month, but like at least once every wave, there should be something that worries you a little bit on each lift.
And my recovery has been locked in because I've been like, fuck, dude.
You got to get ready for
I'm doing 750 and then 750 2 days from now again. Like,
yeah, I think that's the danger of like all sub-max work is it's all sub-max. So there's nothing to G-check you for your bedtime. There's nothing that's going to like big style like G-check you on your food. And you can just keep coasting, but you're not going to adapt to that sub-max work the way you're supposed to because you're being a bum with your accessories. And so having something that's a little bit scary every month lets you do all of your nice sub-max work, but it also scares you into not being a bum.
because we've been so base buildy, I don't have that many touches at 750 on squat. Like for someone who I'm like 820 is my best. I think I'm roughly an 830 squatter right now, right?
835 probably.
So it's like that's a 85-pound difference, right?
Yeah.
My number of lifetime reps at 750 is very low. And so I'm still like, oh fuck, this is so scary. I've only done this a handful of times.
It's probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with these numbers. I shocked Kirsty the other day because she was like trying to figure out how many times she had gone above like 185, and it's like 20 plus, right? So a lot more like practice above that margin. Whereas like you said, there's a certain margin at which you have very limited practice above on the squat and the deadlift.
Yeah, like 770 is really the number on deadlift, and I'm like, I have like 8 lifetime reps.
Yep.
And so like with us touching that twice a week for 6 of the 8 weeks of prep, I'm like, holy fuck, my recovery needs to be locked in. Every week I'm doing something scary. And like, obviously I'm not saying do 95% every week on your training to motivate you. That's probably not the best piece of advice. But having sets that like you're actively excited of or like maybe a little bit scared of, as long as you don't have like the mentality of like, oh, if I fail, I'm demoralized. Like I missed my rep PR yesterday or 2 days ago on bench, and I was like, didn't really deserve that one.
Yeah.
But like having those like more concrete things, because I feel like sometimes I'll be like, oh, long-term goals are awesome because they're gonna keep me like fucking focused, and that's true. It's like it's good. They do keep me like I don't get like post-meet blues and stuff because I always have like longer-term goals.
Yeah.
But shorter-term ones, they really keep you like I feel like they like keep me locked into like reminding myself of like stay my good variables, right? Like it's hard to be like, oh, in this 6 months I'm gonna be going for something awesome.
Yeah.
My food doesn't really feel like it matters that much.
Well,
but if in 3 days from now, I'm like, I'm going to kind of send it for a fucking rep PR.
Yes.
Like, even if it's a little bit stupid, like having that as a reinforcement, like my variables need to be good. Otherwise, my odds at getting this are even worse.
Yeah. It's what's like, my boy, Matt Venom mentioned was like a lot of the time programming specifics are like programming specifics.
Sam dropped. He was like, Matt Venom's like the man in the world of power in the world. Like, he's having his moment. And I was like, that's just you, bro.
Listen, hey, why are you always hating on me?
I walked in here and you were on the couch in the dark, and I looked over and you're just like watching Matt Venom on your phone.
This is not even true. All right. Well, moving on, right? He was just saying like programming specifics maybe a little bit overrated sometimes. And like the mental side of the sport is really big. But the mental sport ties into the programming, right? So it's like having things that make you a little bit nervous. You have to know your own dispositions though, because you'll like rules of thumb aren't universal for anybody, but they can be like the most important thing for your training. I have always erred on the side of being conservative when I'm estimating where I'm at, because I think it's more dangerous to overestimate where you're at than under. So I always err on I've got a range, I pick the bottom end of the range, and that's always my estimate of where I'm at. It leads to me kind of chronically being slightly underestimating where I'm at.
Yep.
And people can give me a hard time, like, you thought this would take, I was like, I had the idea that I could get this done. But I always go with the low end estimate.
There's always like a realistic estimate and then a back of the mind.
Yes.
Like,
I maybe could. And that's the top end, right? And like realistically, you're somewhere in the middle. And because I always go with this bottom end, my training, I should always have a set that I have some doubt about. Like almost on a weekly basis, I should have something that puts a little bit of doubt into my mind.
A little bit of fear.
Like, yeah, not even like fear, right? But like, I should be like, I'm not sure I can do that. And I should attempt it because that's my calibration versus guys who like will do like an RPE 10 rep, like easy, right? You tell those guys their magical rule of thumb is like, you tell them, save it for the platform, save it for the platform. They're going to be wrong. They're going to like, be like, you tell them always leave one in the tank in training. That way you've got that extra gear on meet day. It's like, they're hitting RPE 10 all the time in training anyway. Yeah. It's stopping them from the failed reps. But that becomes their like golden rule is save it for the platform. Save it for that platform. Always leave a little in the tank in training. And that smooths out their training. Versus for you and I, it's always like get something in there that gets you a little bit worried and make sure that's kind of universally present. But it depends on like where your bias is as a lifter. As our final question for the day, we have a fan submitted question where they were saying like how much of lifting weights is mental. I'm a yapaholic. I have an answer, but I'll throw that to you guys.
A lot.
Great answer. Boom. Would you like to expand on that?
Yes.
It feels rude because the people love hearing you talk, and then we put you on the spot, and you.
If you doubt yourself, sometimes you don't get it just because you doubted yourself.
You had an experience like this.
I did. This happened to me fucking yesterday. I'm getting back into squatting, and squatting scares me. So I unracked a weight, and I was like, I'm gonna put this back in the rack for a second, and then I ended up being able to get it. But that's one of the biggest things. That's why I went to bodybuilding from powerlifting is because those 1RMs, I never really figured out how to approach them properly.
It was pure mental
thing where I was like, I was getting stronger in the even like 3 to 12 rep range every single block, but it would get to that singles and doubles part and I would just fall apart. Yep. So that's kind of my biggest challenge right now, especially on squat and deadlift because bench is pretty sorted obviously you can always get better, but bench I'm pretty good about. But that's kind of where I'm at right now is trying to figure out, I need some adrenaline, but how do I approach that mentally without crumbling under pressure? Yeah.
Like I think people find their way into like a system that works, but it's tough. And eventually people start looking for a way out. Like, oh, when I train with this guy, I always get better. And they eventually start looking for a way out. And that's like a big boxing thing is like, you need to not be looking for, the second you're looking for a way out, you lose. Mm-hmm. So you need to build a psychology that you can sustain doing this hard thing indefinitely without eventually looking for a way out. Mm-hmm. Like I'll give people a program and it's like, I'm like, realistically, man, this is the amount of work you need to do to be progress. Like your goal is to move to the next level as a lifter. This is the amount of work you need to do. You're going to be a little bit more tired than you're used to. You need to get used to it. But some people never get used to it and they like kind of use up all of their motivation and then they start looking for a way out. It's like, if you want to get to the next level, you need to be someone who gets comfortable with that amount of work without inevitably being for like a way out thing. Right.
Yeah, because that would be like an example of somebody who would be on the opposite end of the spectrum of me as someone who loves lifting heavy.
Yes.
And they always want to be putting like the pedal to the metal and hitting those like all out sets. For them, the mentality difficulty would be figuring out how to enjoy
the hypertrophy phases because they don't get to show off, right? Or they don't get like their adrenaline. Like,
and that's another mental part.
You've had lifters that like struggled with like, that's kind of the interesting part about like periodized training is you can really isolate which parts you're good at, which ones you're bad at. Like I crush hypertrophy and it's sustainable and I could do this forever. I crush strength. It's great. And then I freak the fuck out in peak. Well, guess what? If you really want to get better, that's the one you need to get better at. But some people, they crush the peak. They're looking forward to training. Their psychology under things that feel heavy is great. And they will not put in base building work. It's like, if you really want to get better, you need to get over your aversion to base building work. Right. And so it's like, sometimes that can be really useful to see. What was your answer going to be?
I was just saying like lifting, obviously it's like a physiological response, right? We're growing our muscles and we're adapting our CNS, right? I feel like as I've gotten better, I have noticed more and more that like there is no just like I'm just gonna like get the work done, right?
Yes.
Like if I'm like miserable, right, or like even just periods of my life that have been like bad, right, my lifting doesn't go well.
Yeah,
like it's so much more than I think because I'm like it's just like I got so into like the A to B, like it's input output machine, right? Like I put in 4 sets of bench press, I put in my dumbbell bench, I put in my good meals, and I put in good sleep, and I just get awesome results,
Yes.
right? Like that's what the machine is, right?
Yep.
But I keep seeing the fact that like, especially with like us training together right now, there are like the garden metaphor makes a lot more sense of like just like conditions and stuff grows and does it, right? Like me and you, like there are movements that like we are progressing very differently at, right?
Yep.
And like we are very similar like shaped athletes in terms of like our conditions and stuff, right? And like just stuff tends to evolve in like different ways, and then it just like kind of occurs naturally, right? And having a more like positive outlook and being more excited for training, it feels like very like wishy-washy, intangible, but it clearly is so connected to
That's
how my
part of the
training
good
is going.
garden. I think that's part of the good garden environment. Is like
both of the best meet preps I've ever had. I was so excited to train.
Yes.
And I'm like, objectively, it wasn't like the block wasn't that different. I never skip fucking anything. My sleep is always awesome, and I eat literally the exact same thing every day. So I feel like I have a very controlled thing for like I'm so resistant to change, especially back when I was a teenager. I was so fucking like saying don't fucking change anything, right? So it's not like we were running like these like true like really meaningful constant experiments with changing stuff, right? But sometimes I'd have blocks with like drastically different results, even though essentially all of like your standard training variables are the exact same. Sometimes I was just like going in and like fucking so much more excited. And like obviously there are tangible things that change from that, right? Like I'm walking more, I'm stretching more, I'm more conscious about like moving throughout the day is one of those things that like whenever I'm really excited about training, I just do it so much more neurotically because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I got 750 this weekend. I really want to fucking dunk on that shit. I want to spike that. I want a cool Instagram video. I'm a fucking beast. Deadlift Max is back, right?
Yeah.
I've been thinking that all fucking week, dude. I'm fired up for deadlifts. On the 4th of July, bro, USA freedom. I'm fucking putting the tea in the fucking ocean, you retards. Sorry.
So mentality is important.
Attack the British! But yeah, no, like having that like positive connection training is so independently helpful in a way that like I don't give it as much credit as it like clearly deserves. And like the guys who I've seen like really succeed just seem to be like having a blast training, right? And I'm pretty sure if you just like didn't like the system, it wouldn't work as well. Even if you were doing all of the exact same
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying is the psychology is part of the environment, right? Like eating the right food is part of what creates the environment to adapt to the demands well. Sleeping enough is part of what creates the like ability to make the adaptations. Being in the right mental space seems to have a meaningful impact.
And that's where it ends.
Wait, I didn't answer. I've planned to answer the whole time.
What the fuck was that?
What was that? What was what?
You talking?
What was me talking?
Was that not your answer?
No, I was replying to what you said.
Okay, what's your answer?
So I think when you start, it's like all mental because you can push yourself way fucking harder than you think. Right?
Yes.
And like you could just get more reps by willpower. But then you get pretty good at that and you're like actually failing. You're like physically failing, right? And then it's like, okay, well, mental still matters quite a bit, but it becomes no longer in the micro. In the micro, it's just like mentally you could just fucking do more reps. And the guy that mentally does the more reps gets the better results. But then once you can push yourself to your limit, it's not that like you can get so hyped up that you could deadlift 1,000. No, you're going to fucking fail. Like there's technique to it, right?
Have you ever heard of the mom lifting
The mom lifting.
What if you thought about the baby was on the way?
I think about the baby, right? And like you're gonna like sure you can get a little bit better by extracting a little bit of extra strength by mastering adrenaline and hype. You could express a little bit more, but the difference
Awesome video about that.
the difference between you that benches 200 and you that benches 300 is not your psychological state, but your ability to change your physiology and not look for a way out, and your ability to be picking up little like nickels and dimes of progress all day with like habits. It no longer becomes like this set is all mental, right? Like once you get to a certain level, you're pretty dialed on that, and it's no longer the case. But the long-term progression is still mental, like keeping yourself checked into training and pushing hard and interested and curious about what to do to get better. Keeping yourself in that state is not something that happens that you passively accept. It's something you actively stoke to be in that right mentality. And you need to keep yourself there because if you fall out of it, you'll start looking for a way out or you'll start going through the motions, and you will like the ability to stay in the right mindset is everything.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more awesome lifting philosophy talk, hop on the Patreon for what is perhaps even a larger show.